I want you to consider donating it to Rawhide Youth Services. People have been donating cars from the very beginning, going all the way back to 1965 when it was started by Bart and Cherry Star. I don't know how cars became such a big part of it, but they have been every year since then. Rawhide is a faith-based nonprofit that helps thousands of youth every year, many here in Milwaukee, overcome trauma, suicidal thoughts, and live better lives. They need vehicle donations to support their mission, and they have proven for, what would that be, their 50 years, vehicle donations make a difference. Visit rawhide.org/donate and learn how you can help today. The doctor of football, Bryan, Bulaga, and J.C. Wilde tried to tell me not to worry. 10th best? 10th best, Xavier McKinney? All right. I mean, come on, you could say you hope he's better than 10th best. I think one of the line was he doesn't scare you. So
yeah, no, I mean, listen, I hope he's better than the 10th best safety in the league. Obviously, I hope, and I think he is. I always look at those lists, whether it's national media polled or secret scouts or personnel people that never put their name behind it. I never. But now wait a minute.
As smart as you are, all right, I would go to you and ask you about offensive linemen. I know you're not going to give me the names of people that stink. So
I would tell you if I don't think they're good or not.
Well, but I would think you would be more honest if I said to you, Bryan, I'm not going to mention your name, but I trust your judgment, so I'm going to use you as one of the people that I go to. That if I was doing this, that's what I do. And I would say, I want you to feel comfortable being as honest as you can, knowing I'm not going to mention your name. Now, my credibility in terms of how I rate people is going to be based on how people like you do for me.
I get that, but I always looked at it, and maybe it's the offensive line in me. But if I'm going to say something, I'm going to put my name behind it and stand behind it. Like, that's just
really
the way I look at it.
Because,
I mean, if you're going to...
Well, no, but when I use you as my source, all right, and you suck and the people you say are good, I'm not going to use you anymore.
Well, then I'm not credible. Like, whatever Bulaga says is junk.
But you don't need to be a part of that. You got your own life. You don't... I think that's the way people look at it, and they make judgments on who to select. I would select you because I think you're smart and honest, but I would tell you, I'm not going to mention your name.
I get that. Listen, ESPN and all these, they've been doing that for as long as I can even remember. And listen, I'm sure that all the safeties that they have in there are studs. I'm sure they're all very good players. Like, and I don't know all their names. I don't have the list in front of me, but I would imagine they're all good. But if we're comparing all these guys, there's more to it than just what a scout from, we'll just say, the Seattle Seahawks thinks of Xavier McKinney when they may not have even played. He may not even watched any tape on him. It may just be word of mouth what he thinks about him. It's just a very, I don't know. Like, I just get iffy about it. And like, my whole thing is like, there's no way Goody is giving comments on this list. Like, I just know it. There's no way. Like, there's you know what I mean? So that's why I always just question who are the scouts, who are the personnel people. Like, I don't know. Like, and listen, obviously, when you're ranking quarterbacks, it's pretty easy.
Did you look at the rankings of you? Did you ever look at how people rank you?
No.
Really?
No, it didn't matter one way or another.
I know it doesn't matter, but you're not curious to go like, that guy's an idiot.
No,
that guy's really smart.
No, like I just because I think you could find more frustration out of it than anything, right? Like
I don't know.
You can play your butt off. You can play the best 3 years of football you've ever played, and some scout will say he's the 20th.
Right, and you know what I would say if I was you? Like, guy's an idiot. I'm not gonna agree with him. But I mean, I don't know. You listen to certain people, I'm sure, and make judgments on how accurate they are in judging, linemen, and go like, you don't have to mention them, but everybody does that.
I'll mention him because I think he's very good. Is Duke Manyweather? He runs the O-line masterminds things down in Texas. Like, he's very good. He trains guys.
So does he rank the NFL players, or
he doesn't rank guys? No, because he doesn't believe in that. Like, that's not his thing. Is to rank guys. Like, that's not his. And he trains a lot of these guys, so why is he going to go ranking people?
I know.
He's just not going to do it. But like, it's very easy, at least in my opinion, in offensive line play to rank guys, right? Like you have your elite operators, like that's tier one, like your tier one guys, the Trent Williams, the Lane Johnsons, Zach Martin, like these, like Tunsil, like these are high operators, man.
Right.
Like Zach Tom has probably worked himself into like a tier two, like, you know, top of tier two and maybe tier three because he's only done it for a year. But he continues to play. He's going to be considered a high operator, and that's going to work his way closer to tier one. And that's just the way we look at it, because it's very easy to see for us as linemen who's playing and who's just kind of out there. Like, it's very easy to see.
So if I started my own source, if I started my own ranking of offensive linemen, would you be my source? I'll never use your name. But then people would go like, man, Homer knows his stuff.
But then that would require me to watch every offensive lineman throughout the league, and I just don't want to do it.
I don't know. Well, I don't know that it would. I don't know how much you would need to watch to be able to tell how good someone is.
I mean, you'd have to give them more than 2 games.
I don't know.
Anyone could have a bad game, right? And like it could happen to the best players in the league. I saw when we played Washington, when they were the Redskins, in Washington in a playoff game. Nick Perry beat Trent Williams, I think, for 2.5 sacks.
Right.
And like, that doesn't change my opinion on Trent Williams. But if, like, you know what I mean? Trent Williams, to me, is one of the best left tackles ever play. But if you were to judge him based off that game, you'd go, this guy's not very good.
Yeah, but you're my guy, and you wouldn't. That's how smart you are. You would say, I still have him up there, but that would be a part of his resume. You would wonder what happened, and if you saw it again, you would think maybe he's not as good as he once was. He's hurt. I could be famous using you as my source. I'll never mention your name.
Oh, my goodness.
I take that as a no. Pebble, did you take that as a no?
I definitely took it as a no, yes.
I took it as a hell no.
No unnamed sources for me.
You're never going to be one.
No, right? I'll never be an unnamed source. It was always a thing in the O-line room. Unnamed sources were bad. You're an unnamed source. If guys found out you were an unnamed source, it was going to be bad for you.
Right.
Really bad. I wish we would have asked Jason that about unnamed sources in the locker room.
Yeah, now Jason and I have had the same argument. I just want accuracy. As a reporter, I want accuracy, and my credibility is going to be based on the accuracy of my sources who tell me about players.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about player unnamed sources.
Yes.
Like I'm talking about guys in the locker room that are, because if you're doing an unnamed source as a player, it's negative about a teammate, and that's I would think there's nothing worse a player could do, ever. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, now that part I agree. Unless you're a player and you're giving me information on who's good at the position of people that you play against, that would be my one exception. Fourth quarter next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Tori Lowe from 101.7 The Truth, and violence is a problem which impacts us all, but together we can make a difference. Please join me and the ESPN Milwaukee team on Saturday, July 20th from 9 a.m. to noon for our second annual Walk Against Violence. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community and encourage a stronger, safer Milwaukee. Join the Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 20th. Visit 1017thetruth.com to sign up today. Together, we can bring an end to violence.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate, when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at discount liquor.
Baseball and tailgating. Two of Wisconsin's traditions are back. Have you made a game plan? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. For over 60 years, we've been part of the starting lineup that makes your tailgate an experience. With over 2,000 varieties of beer, 4,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines, we're your pre-game headquarters. It's not a game without a tailgate, and it's not a tailgate without a stop at Discount Liquor, where we literally have everything you need to get back to your baseball traditions. So before you head to the ballpark, head to Discount Liquor. 2 area locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
Discount Liquor.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Make the most of summer when the Brewers take on the Nationals July 12th through the 14th, featuring a Brewers Image Viewer giveaway and Cerveceros Day festivities. Get on board at brewers.com/tickets.
The Vollrath Company implemented a DocuWare content management solution from James Imaging Systems. Vollrath Director of Information Systems, John Sharp.
They've helped us upgrade from a previous version of our document management to automate our accounts payable processes, to store the invoices, to the three-way match, and really streamline those processes.
In addition to a DocuWare content management solution, the key to continued success is the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
And as an extension of our team, they've got intimate knowledge of why we've done some of the things that we do. And when we run into any issues, they're there to support us.
A DocuWare content management solution from the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
They know exactly where we are in our project cycle so that we've always got continuous improvement.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Baseball, grilling, festivals, tan lines, and Saz's. Summer in Wisconsin is the finest, and Saz's Statehouse is the place to be. They've been a Milwaukee staple for almost 50 years, so they know a thing or two about summer fun. Enjoy handcrafted cocktails, festival-famous combo platters on Saz's outdoor patio, or cool off with your friends at their famous round bar. Saz's complimentary shuttles are ready to take you to games and concerts at AmFam Field. Get details at Saz's.com, located at 55th and State. See you at Saz's.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Higher Love Cannabis Company. You know I'm going to tell you soon how far away it is. Yeah, less than an hour from Green Bay, 2 hours and 18 minutes from Milwaukee. Higher Love Cannabis Company. There are other things. They have 7 stores located across the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, including just over the border in Menominee. That would be 18 seconds over the border. The only UP cultivator offering organic, clean, green certified products. You can count on them to provide only the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. All these things you need to know, but not as important as Higher Love Cannabis Company, less than an hour from Green Bay, 2 hours and 18 minutes from Milwaukee. Menominee has a brick and mortar store, though most people seem to use the drive-thru. Higher Love, less than an hour from Green Bay, 2 hours and 18 minutes from Milwaukee. And with the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga, and many, many years ago when I covered the Packers, I had a player question me about using unnamed sources in a story I'd done. Okay. And I said, well, clearly then it's accurate. Because what do you mean? I said, well, I don't care where it comes from. You should be upset if it's not accurate. If it's accurate, what difference does it make who got it? I got something accurate. What I said was true. Where it comes from should mean nothing to you. If what I say is inaccurate, that's what you should be upset about. He goes, no, I just don't like unnamed sources. I said, well, you're not defending why, I wasn't impressed then.
No, I mean, you made a very valid point to him. I mean, I get where you were coming from, but we just look at it as players, especially unnamed sources of other players.
Yeah.
That's just that's when things are going haywire. Right,
and they were. Yes, they were not winning as much then. Yes,
yeah, that's when things are going bad, and it's a very toxic environment. And I mean, listen, and I get it. Like especially our local media, like Jason and Demoski, and all these guys that are in there every day. It's tough to get these stories, and I understand it. And sometimes these are the types of things that happen. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong for Jason or for you or for anyone to get them as players, we just look, because it's not the reporter. It has nothing to do with the reporter. It's the guy that is our teammate that we look at as family that is cutting you that deep, that they're not going to come to you first to address an issue, but they're going to air it out to the media. And that's what hurts guys the most is we could have handled this in-house, but you took it, for everyone to talk about.
Yeah, and I would say this, the majority of those situations, and I would use this, to judging talent of players. It wasn't about, what's going on in the locker room that you would know about. I'd say, so how good is somebody? Well, they're good. They're not, they're no good. They say, that's what this was about. Well, then was that right or not? You're basically telling me, my analysis of the player was accurate. But yes, the stuff that's in a locker room that belongs in a locker room in terms of personal stuff, or I don't know. I was going to ask you also about, and we'll do this again, but about head coaches, that what it's like for a player. Like, how much do you actually have an involvement with a head coach, or your time with the team? Is it based more on the assistant coach, and or does the head coach set the standard, and that's really important on a football team with so many people? The dynamics of that, I'm curious of. Does a head coach a great head coach because more than anything else he has good assistants? Is that the most important thing, or do they set a standard?
We'll get into this more on Monday, but it is the head coach sets the standard, and then it's passed down to the assistants and then to the veteran players, and the veteran players need to uphold the standards, right? Like, it goes from the top down, but the players are the ones that are in the locker room. They control it. So that message has to be well received by veteran players and then get passed around to the team, because if that message isn't getting from the head coach to the top players, it's bad.
Now, Pebble, use that in the recap of our show and say, according to an unnamed source, it goes from the coach to the best players.
I mean, it goes to the coach, to the leaders of the team, and that's how things go. Like, and that's
the definition of a good coach, who gets his best players to buy into what he's saying.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Man, you are a great unnamed source. Would you mind if that was my new nickname for you? We got no longer the doctor of football, but unnamed source himself. You'd stop doing the show. If I called him unnamed source, Pebble, I believe Bryan Bulaga would stop doing the show. What do you think?
He still do the show. He just ignore you.
You think so? I'll have to ask my other unnamed source, Jason Wilde. Next.
Whatever you
We've got some backups still on westbound 94 coming out of the Marquette from about 20th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard.